I want you to picture a piece of security camera footage. It's from March 14th, 2024 in Maplewood, Virginia.
Right.
It's just a standard residential CCTV setup mounted on the back of a house, and it captures exactly 31 seconds of tape.
And what's on the tape?
Well, in the frame, there's this 82-year-old man named William Hargrove. He's paralyzed, sitting in a wheelchair on a stone patio.
Okay.
And walking toward him from the back door is his 35-year-old caregiver, Alicia Turner. She's wearing these navy blue scrubs.
Just a normal work day for her.
Exactly. She walks up, bends down, places her hand gently on the armrest, and she kisses him.
Wow.
Right on the mouth. It's this incredibly tender, real kiss that lasts for about 4 seconds.
It sounds like a deeply private, I don't know, almost cinematic moment of genuine affection.
Yeah, it really does.
It's like the kind of thing you'd expect to see in a touching documentary about finding love late in life, you know?
But the horrifying reality is what happens next. Because just 11 days after that tender 4-second kiss, Alicia Turner was found dead.
God, it's jarring.
It is. She was zip-tied, she had ligature marks around her neck, and she was locked inside a back room of an abandoned riverside warehouse.
Still wearing those exact same navy scrubs, right?
Still wearing the scrubs.
Which completely shatters the warmth of that patio scene. I mean, if you're looking at this from the outside, your first instinct is to assume this was just a random tragedy.
Totally.
Like maybe a carjacking gone wrong or a random abduction in a bad part of town.
And that is exactly what the perpetrators wanted everyone to think.
Right.
So, our mission for this deep dive into excerpts from the book, The Price of Compassion, The Hargrove Inheritance Murder, is to show you the terrifying reality behind the scenes of that patio kiss.
Because this was definitely not a random crime.
No.
Yeah.
It was a meticulously planned $50,000 murder-for-hire plot, entirely fueled by a $2.5 million inheritance dispute.
It's just wild.
Okay, let's unpack this because this story completely redefines the whole greedy heir trope.
It really does.
And it serves as a chilling warning for absolutely anyone working in the healthcare field.
Yeah, to really understand how a supposedly normal suburban family reaches the point of orchestrating a military-style hit, we have to examine the profound bond between William and Alicia.
Right, because the family felt threatened by it.
Exactly. It was the authenticity of that bond that threatened the family so deeply. And to understand how that bond formed, we really have to look at the intense, crushing isolation William endured right before Alicia walked into his life.
Yeah, so let's go back a bit. It all started a few years earlier on September 12th, 2021.
Okay.
William, who was 79 years old at the time, was T-boned by a pickup truck going 50 miles per hour.
Just a horrific accident.
Terrible.
Yeah.
He survived the crash, but his vertebrae were completely shattered. He was left permanently paralyzed from the waist down.
And this is where the family dynamic gets incredibly stark.
Yeah, tell him about the family.
So William had 3 immediate family members. There was his 54-year-old son, Bradley, his 51-year-old daughter, Christine, and his 29-year-old grandson, Tyler. Now, in the first month after the accident, they visited. But by the second month, those visits slowed to a trickle.
They just kind of faded out.
Exactly. And by the third month, it was almost nothing. Over the entire first year, his son Bradley visited twice.
Twice in a year.
Yeah. His daughter Christine visited once, and his grandson Tyler never visited at all.
It's heartbreaking. William actually spent his 80th birthday completely alone, just sitting there staring at a phone that refused to ring.
Oh, man.
Investigators later found a journal entry he wrote in November of 2021, and this really got to me.
What did it say?
He wrote, "My family vanished the moment I became a burden. I was only valuable when I could write checks."
That is, wow. That's heavy.
It's like William was treated as an artifact in a dusty museum, you know. His family only cared about the little gold plaque at the bottom of the display case's money.
Right.
But they completely ignored the actual living, breathing person sitting right in front of them.
That analogy perfectly captures the psychology of elder abandonment. He was effectively warehoused by his own blood.
Exactly.
But then, in December 2021, William hires a home health aide through an agency called Premier Care Services.
And they had a great reputation.
Oh, yeah. They sent him their absolute best employee, Alicia Turner. She was 32 years old, had a flawless 4.9-star rating, and had worked with 47 different families.
She really knew what she was doing. And she had a nursing background, didn't she?
She did. She had actually been in nursing school, but she dropped out to care for her own mother, who was dying of stage 4 cancer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And after her mother passed, Alicia kind of dedicated her life to being a certified home health aide.
So on her very first day, she walks in, and William is just sitting by the window, staring into the void.
Completely shut down.
Yeah, totally ignoring her. He'd basically given up on people.
Yeah.
But Alicia doesn't get offended.
Right. She's seen this before.
Instead, she asks him this brilliant question. She says, "What is your favorite meal? The one you'd make if you could stand in a kitchen again."
What's fascinating here is the psychological shift that single question created. Well, Alicia didn't ask him what he needed. She asked him what he wanted.
Oh, that's a huge distinction.
It is. Because in elder care, patients are so often reduced to a list of biological needs, right? Medications, bathroom schedules, physical therapy.
They just become a checklist.
Exactly. The industry can unintentionally strip away autonomy, but by asking what he wanted, she instantly restored a piece of his humanity.
And he told her he wanted his late wife's homemade lasagna.
Yeah.
So 2 days later, Alicia brings all the ingredients, and she doesn't just cook it for him.
What does she do?
She sets everything up at counter height so he can actually help her prep it from his wheelchair.
That's amazing.
Right. And when they finally sat down to eat, William cried. It was the first time he had felt truly alive since the truck hit him.
And that's the thing about Alicia. She consistently went above and beyond basic care protocols while maintaining her professionalism.
She really paid attention to him.
She did. She learned he loved jazz, so she brought in her own Miles Davis records for them to listen to during his physical therapy.
I love that.
She found out he loved poetry, so she tracked down his favorite book and read to him every afternoon. She even took him out to parks and restaurants.
Getting him out of the house.
Right, places where society had to actually look at him as a person, not just a man in a wheelchair.
It's crucial to note here that this wasn't some, manipulative whirlwind romance.
Not at all.
It was a very slow, natural evolution. Like in June of 2022, which is months into her employment, William asks her, "Why waste your time with a broken old man?"
And her response is just so touching.
It is. She tells him, "You're not broken. You're just waiting for someone to remind you that you're still here."
Beautiful.
Yeah. And it wasn't until September of 2023, nearly 2 years after they met, that they finally confessed their love for each other.
And they kept it completely secret at first, right?
They did. They knew exactly how it would look to the outside world, and especially to his family.
Because the genuine nature of their connection is what ultimately triggers the family's panic.
Yeah, that's where things get ugly.
It moves the story from a quiet romance to this aggressive legal and financial battle.
Right. So on January 18th, 2024, the secret gets out. Bradley, the son who hasn't visited in 8 months, suddenly shows up unannounced.
Out of nowhere.
Yep. And phone records later proved why he showed up.
Yeah.
He had just been on the phone with his accountant asking how he could access his inheritance early because he needed cash.
Of course he did.
So he walks into the house, and he catches William and Alicia sitting together, holding hands and laughing.
And Bradley completely explodes.
Just loses it.
He instantly accuses Alicia of taking advantage of his father.
But William doesn't back down.
No, because he has regained his voice and his dignity over the last 2 years. He fires back, asking Bradley where he was when he was rotting in isolation.
Good for him.
And then he kicks his son out of the house.
Which naturally triggers total panic in the family. Bradley calls an emergency meeting with his sister Christine and his son Tyler.
They realize their money is on the line.
Exactly. The next day, they all march over to the house and demand William fire Alicia. He kicks them out again.
So they try to destroy her legally.
Yeah. First, they hire a private investigator to dig up dirt on Alicia, but she's spotless. The PI finds absolutely nothing.
So since they can't attack her character, they pivot to attacking William's mind.
Oh, this is so messed up.
It is, but it's actually a very common tactic in estate disputes. They consult lawyers to challenge William's mental competency.
Hoping to have a judge declare him unfit to make his own decisions.
Exactly. If they can prove he has dementia or cognitive decline, they can take control of his finances.
But it doesn't work?
No, independent doctors review his records and evaluate him, and their verdict is clear. William is completely 100% lucid.
Okay, wait, let me jump in here. I'm struggling to buy the family's narrative here.
Yeah.
Looking at all this, did the family actually convince themselves that Alicia was some malicious, gold-digging manipulator? Or were they simply using that as a convenient psychological shield to justify their own intense greed?
The source material heavily suggests it was a psychological shield.
It has to be. Right.
Yeah, I mean, remember, they didn't care about his well-being for 3 years. They only cared when their presumed inheritance was threatened.
Right.
And because every single legal avenue they tried completely failed, they basically backed themselves into a corner of their own making.
They couldn't prove she was a criminal, and they couldn't prove he was incompetent.
Exactly. And that legal roadblock is what pushes William to make a drastic move to protect Alicia.
So on March 5th, 2024, William called his attorney, Richard Thornton, for a private meeting to change his will.
And the new terms were devastating for the family.
Completely. Alicia was to receive $2.5 million, plus the house and all remaining assets.
While Bradley and Christine's shares were slashed from $1.5 million each down to just $200,000.
And Tyler was cut from $200,000 down to $100,000.
William was incredibly shrewd, though. He knew his family would drag Alicia through a brutal civil court battle the second he died.
Oh, without a doubt.
So he had his lawyer include what is known in estate law as a poison pill clause.
A poison pill. Explain that.
Specifically, it stated that if any family member is ever convicted of a crime against Alicia Turner, their inheritance is completely voided and has very specific mechanics.
Right.
Bradley, who is desperate for cash, realized one fatal loophole in how the will was structured. It's a concept called lapse of legacy.
Which means what?
If Alicia were to die before William, the bequest to her would be legally invalid because you cannot leave property to a deceased person.
Oh, God.
Yeah, the money would revert back to the family's control through the estate.
So the family realizes they have no legal options left, which forces them to take things entirely outside the law.
Exactly.
They decide to initiate a surgical military-style hit.
But they only found out about the new will because of a leak, right?
Yeah, the attorney's assistant, a woman named Karen Ross. She happened to be Christine's old college best friend.
Such a betrayal of confidentiality.
Huge. On March 8th, she illegally tipped Christine off about the $2.5 million going to the caregiver.
And that same night, the family meets.
Right. Tyler, the grandson, leverages his old military connections. He reaches out to an ex-Marine named Vincent Cross.
And this guy has a dishonorable discharge and multiple assault charges.
Real bad guy. Vincent brings in an associate, Ramon Silva. The price to make Alicia disappear is $50,000.
$25,000 up front, $25,000 after the job is done.
They spend 3 days meticulously surveilling the house, learning her schedule, what car she drives, when she comes and goes.
This was not a crime of passion. It was a cold, calculated business transaction.
Yeah, and here's where it gets really interesting and honestly just heartbreaking. The juxtaposition of the timeline on March 14th is terrifying.
It really is. Walk us through it.
So on that Thursday, William has a surprise planned. He had bought a ring 2 weeks prior, and he is planning to propose to Alicia.
Oh, man. At 6:34 p.m., they are out on the patio.
This is the moment captured on that CCTV camera, that tender 31-second clip where she bends down and kisses him.
Yeah. And while Alicia is experiencing one of the happiest moments of her life, totally feeling loved and appreciated.
She has absolutely no idea that her patient's grandson, Tyler, has already texted her license plate number to a hitman.
A hitman who is sitting in a white van just 3 blocks away.
Exactly. So at 6:47 p.m., Alicia leaves the house for the day. She heads to the grocery store.
Just a normal errand.
Yeah. At 6:58 p.m., she parks her green Honda near the back of the lot. As she's reaching into her trunk for her shopping bags, the white van pulls up.
And Vincent and Ramon ambush her.
It takes them exactly 30 seconds to overpower her, zip-tie her hands, cover her mouth, and throw her in the van.
God. And by 7:45 p.m., they are inside Unit 4B of the abandoned Riverside warehouse.
The details of what happens next are incredibly disturbing because of how clinical it all was.
Yeah, investigators later referred to this specific moment as the coldest detail of the entire case.
What did he do?
Vincent didn't just kill her in a frenzy. He took the time to stand over a terrified, zip-tied Alicia and explain the mechanics of why she was there.
He literally explained the plot to her.
Yes. He told her that William's family had paid them to make her disappear. He explicitly told her it was strictly business and that she was simply in the way of $2.5 million.
That is just pure evil.
And then he strangled her to death.
And while her body is lying on the floor of that warehouse, Tyler meets the 2 hitmen at a rest stop 40 miles away.
Just to finish the transaction.
Yep. He hands them a duffel bag with the remaining $25,000 in cash, asks if it's done, and then goes home to sleep.
The family honestly believed they had executed the perfect, untraceable crime.
They really did.
But their arrogance completely blinded them to the reality of modern law enforcement and the digital footprint we all leave behind.
Because the family's plan starts unraveling almost immediately.
How so?
By the next morning, when Alicia doesn't show up for work, William calls the police in a complete panic. And this is a crucial step the family didn't account for.
What did William do?
William immediately tells the cops everything. He lays out the entire family drama, the confrontations, and the $2.5 million will.
Oh, wow. That immediately gives the police a motive and a direction.
Exactly. A few days later, they locate Alicia's abandoned green Honda in the grocery store parking lot.
So they start canvassing, pulling local security footage, and piecing together a timeline.
Right. And the definitive break comes on March 25th, when a property inspector discovers Alicia's body in that abandoned Riverside warehouse.
And detectives pull the property records, right?
Yep. And guess who owns the building?
Let me guess.
Hargrove Property Management, Bradley's company. He inherited it from his father and had the keys.
What an idiot. I mean, once they had that physical link, the digital forensics tore the family's alibis apart.
Oh, completely. People think they can hide, but your cell phone is essentially a tracking device.
Yeah, police pulled phone records and matched Tyler's cell tower pings to the rest stop where he paid the hitman.
And they found his text to Vincent saying, "Target leaving now," sent 7 minutes before Alicia left the house.
They also pulled bank records, right?
Yes, and they found Bradley withdrawing exact increments of $25,000 in cash in the days leading up to the hit.
It's all just sitting there in plain sight. Even though Renown used a fake ID to rent the white van, high-definition security cameras at the rental agency captured his face perfectly.
So when the trial rolls around in September 2024, the prosecution brings out their most devastating piece of evidence.
The video.
That 31-second patio kiss from the security camera. They played it for the jury to prove, without a shadow of a doubt, the mechanics of their relationship.
To show she wasn't a gold digger.
Exactly. Alicia wasn't some manipulator. The relationship was entirely based on genuine love.
And that evidence just breaks them. On day 12 of the trial, facing this mountain of digital and video evidence, Tyler cracks.
Takes a plea deal, doesn't he?
He does. He takes a plea deal for life with parole after 30 years, and he testifies against his own father and aunt, laying out the entire conspiracy.
The jury deliberated for just 4 hours.
That's incredibly fast.
Guilty on all counts. Bradley, Vincent, and Rayon received life without parole. Christine got 25 years.
But it's what happens on the day of their sentencing, October 14th, 2024, that delivers the ultimate profound irony of this entire case.
Yeah, on the exact same day his family is sentenced to rot in prison, William Hargrove dies of heart failure.
Wow.
The hospice nurse reported that he hadn't spoken since the trial ended. But right before his heart stopped, his final words were, "I waited 82 years to find love, and my son took it away in 31 seconds.
God. The tragedy of those words is heavy, but the financial outcome of this case is a spectacular backfire of the family's plan.
It really is.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the legal mechanism William put in place, that poison pill clause, worked exactly as he designed it to, even if it couldn't save Alicia's life.
Wait, explain how it worked.
Well, yes, Alicia predeceased William, which is the loophole Bradley was banking on. But because Bradley, Christine, and Tyler were convicted of a crime against Alicia, the special clause activated immediately.
Oh, wow. So the family gets zero.
Nothing. The entire $3.2 million estate goes straight to charity.
They murdered an innocent woman for money, and they walked away with absolutely nothing but life sentences.
Yeah. But, you know, as satisfying as that legal justice might feel, there's a much broader, much more chilling implication here.
What do you mean?
If you've ever had to navigate hiring care for an aging parent, or if you work in the industry, you know how vulnerable that situation is.
Absolutely.
During the police interrogations, a detective asked the hitman, Vincent Cross, if he had ever done jobs like this before, if families had hired him in the past.
And what did he say?
Vincent looked right at the camera, smiled, and said, "You'd be surprised how often families kill for inheritance."
Jesus.
His lawyer shut the interrogation down right after he said that, so he never elaborated.
But that quote just hangs there.
Yeah.
And it leads to some very actionable advice straight from the source material for anyone working as a home care worker or an aide.
Yeah, the primary warning is that you cannot assume family members are safe just because they share DNA with your patient.
Right.
The warning signs in this case weren't in Alicia's behavior. They were entirely in the family's reaction to her.
So what should caregivers look out for?
If family members suddenly show up out of nowhere after months of absence, if they accuse you of manipulation without any evidence, or if they make threats, you must document it immediately. Note the dates, the times, and exactly what was said.
And you have to vary your routines, too. Don't park in the exact same spot every day. Don't leave at the exact same minute.
Create a paper trail with your agency.
Right, because Alicia had 3 separate hostile confrontations with the Hargrove family. But she didn't report them because she thought the anger would just blow over.
Ignoring her bad feelings about them literally cost her her life.
It highlights a tragic paradox in the healthcare industry. We are taught that doing a phenomenal job means forming a deep, empathetic connection with your patient.
You're supposed to care.
Right. But in the highly lucrative world of elder care, that same empathy can be violently weaponized against you by the people who are terrified of losing their financial safety net.
Exactly.
It leaves you with a really uncomfortable thought to chew on regarding how our legal system defines family in these situations.
How so?
Well, we automatically grant immense legal and financial power to blood relatives, regardless of whether they've actually been present in a person's life.
Oh, that's a really good point.
Right. But as the elder care industry grows, and as people live longer, more isolated lives, what happens when a patient's chosen family, the caregiver who actually shows up, cooks the lasagna, and provides the dignity, clashes with the biological family that only shows up to the checkbook?
It's a terrifying collision.
It is. This case proves that our legal system is still entirely built around protecting bloodlines, even when those bloodlines are the very things a patient needs protecting from.
Yeah.
Alicia Turner gave an isolated man his dignity back, and her reward was 31 seconds of happiness on a patio, before the very people who should have thanked her decided her compassion was too expensive to let live. Consider the terrifying vulnerability of that compassion.
What?
What if the very traits that make someone a phenomenal caregiver are the exact same traits that paint a target on their back?